Hi everyone. In the past few videos, we have been talking about activation functions. We discussed what are activation functions, then we discussed sigmoid activation function and then ReLU activation function. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the variants of ReLU activation function, that is variants of rectified linear unit activation function. If you're new here, then I am Radhika. This is my YouTube channel DataZard. I post a video on machine learning or deep learning topic every Friday. So if you haven't subscribed already and you want to know more about this, then please subscribe to my channel. And now without further ado, let's get started. So in today's video, we're talking about variants of ReLU activation function, and we are talking about four different types of ReLU activation function. First one is leaky ReLU, then the second one is parametric ReLU or called as PReLU. Then the next one is exponential linear unit or ELU and scaled exponential linear unit or CELU. Let's start with leaky ReLU first. So the formula for leaky ReLU is f of x is equal to max of 0.01x or x. If you remember, for ReLU, our formula was f of x is equal to max of 0 or x. But this time, instead of 0, we have 0.1x. So this translates to if x is greater than 0, then we will have x. Otherwise, we will have 0.01 of x when x is less than or equal to 0. So this is the formula for leaky ReLU. So in the negative region, instead of just directly giving a 0 value, we are multiplying that x value by 0.01. So if we want to plot the graph for this, then it would be something like this. So this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. Now, in the negative region, we will have a line like this, which is 0.01x. And then in the positive region, it will be equal to x. So this is our graph for f of x. Now the derivative of this leaky ReLU would be something like this. So in the negative region, we will have a constant value of 0.01. So this value is 0.01. And in the positive region, we will have 1. So this is how the graph will look like. So this pink graph is for f dash of x, which is derivative of leaky ReLU. So this x is input and f of x would be the output from this ReLU function. Now let us discuss the advantages of leaky ReLU. First advantage is that it is a non-linear activation function. And this is important because our complex patterns, they are of type non-linear nature. And to understand them, we need to have a non-linear activation function. So leaky ReLU is fit for purpose. Second and the most important advantage is that it solves dying ReLU or dead neuron problem. If you don't know what dying ReLU or dead neuron problem is, then please watch my previous video of ReLU activation function where I have clearly explained what dying ReLU problem is. And leaky ReLU solves this problem. How does this solve this problem? So when you look at the activation function and the formula for leaky ReLU, in the negative region, the value is not 0. It is 0.01 of x. And because it is 0.01 of x, the gradient will also be 0.01. And because this is not 0, gradient is not 0, that is why we will not have dying ReLU problem. So this is the whole crux of why we do not have a dying ReLU problem for leaky ReLU. Third advantage is that it is non-saturating function. And again, if you don't know what non-saturating function is, then please watch my previous video where I have explained what non-saturating functions are. And because it is a non-saturating function, so its output is unbounded. Fourth advantage is that it is computationally inexpensive. Why? Because again, we do not have any power operations or log operations or anything, so it is computationally inexpensive. Fifth advantage is this function, leaky ReLU, is close to zero-centered function, and because it is close to zero-centered function, this means that we will have outputs in the positive. We will have outputs which have positive as well as negative values, and because we have both types of values, this will lead to faster convergence as well. So we can say being non-zero centered would lead to faster convergence, and this is the sixth advantage. Now let us talk about the disadvantage of leaky ReLU. And as such, there isn't a bigger disadvantage, but the first disadvantage is the choice of 0.01 in negative region is kind of arbitrary, and because it is arbitrary, it might need further tuning. So these were the advantages and disadvantages of leaky ReLU. Now let us jump next to parametric ReLU, or called as PReLU. So here the formula for parametric ReLU is max of ax comma x. So f of x is equal to ax when x is less than or equal to 0, otherwise equal to x when x is greater than 0. So this is the formula for parametric ReLU. Now this a is a learnable parameter, and this is learnt during training. So this is not a constant value. This is the most important point to remember, that it is not a constant. It is learnt during training. So instead of a predetermined value like 0.01, which we used in leaky ReLU, here a would be a learnable parameter. So its value would be different for different data sets. Now if we have to plot the PReLU in a graph, then it would look something like this. So this is x-axis and y-axis. Depending on what value we have for a, the graph will differ, but it would look something like this. So x is the input and a is the learnable parameter. Now let us talk about advantages of PReLU. So it has same advantages as that is for leaky ReLU. So first, it is a non-linear activation function, and this is important again to understand the complex patterns which are there in our data set. Second is, because a is a learnable parameter, therefore it is learnt during training time. So this allows more flexibility in the model, which leads to better performance. Third advantage is it can adapt to different data sets, because again for each data set our a would be different, so we are adapting to the data set that is being used. Fourth advantage is again it is a non-saturating function. And fifth advantage is again it is close to zero-centered output. This means we will have positive values as well as negative values coming as the output when we pass any value of x to PReLU function, and this would lead to faster convergence. Now there are a few disadvantages as well. So let's discuss the disadvantages of ReLU function. And the first disadvantage is that it is computationally expensive. Why? Because we are learning A during training. So because this learning is happening, so it will be a little slow. And the second disadvantage is it has a risk of overfitting. Because we are learning this A parameter during training, so there might be a risk of overfitting, especially when it comes to small data sets. So this was all about the ReLU function. Now let us jump next to ELU function. So ELU stands for exponential linear unit, and this is another variant of ReLU activation function. So in ELU, our formula is f of x is equal to x when x is greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, and alpha e to the power x minus 1 when x is less than 0. Now this alpha is a constant value. It's not a learnable parameter like it was in parametric ReLU. So this alpha is a constant value. If we had to find derivative of this function, exponential linear unit function, then the derivative would be equal to 1 when x is greater than 0, greater than equal to 0, and it would be equal to ELU of x plus alpha when x is less than 0. If we had to plot both of these in a graph, then this would look something like this. So this is our y-axis and x-axis. So ELU function would look something like this because it is a logarithmic function. So it will have a curve like that over here instead of being a straight line or a linear function, and then a straight line in the positive region. So this one is for f of x, and for f dash x, the function, the derivative of f of x would look something like this. And from here like that. So this is 1. So 1 when in the positive region, and like this kind of a curve when in the negative region. So this is for f dash of x. So pink one is for ELU function and blue one is for the derivative of ELU function. Let us talk about the advantages of ELU function. So the first advantage is, again, it is a non-linear activation function. The most important requirement, because activation function should be non-linear to grab the non-linear aspects of data. Second is it solves dying ReLU or dead neuron problem. Because again, we do not have 0 as output in the negative region, we have something as output, and because it is not equal to 0, that's why we will not end up in a situation like dying ReLU. Third advantage is it is close to zero-centered function, which means it will have output in positive as well as negative region, and because of this it has faster convergence. So I'm going to write faster convergence as another advantage for ELU. So this is our fourth advantage. Fifth advantage is it adds smoothness, and this leads to reduction in the bias shift. And lastly, ELU is continuous everywhere, which means it will be differentiable everywhere or differentiable always. And this is again important property when it comes to back propagation. So it is differentiable always. And I have already shown how the differentiation, what would be the output for differentiation and how will it look graphically. Now the last activation function, which is variant of ReLU, is SELU, which is scaled exponential linear unit. also called as SELU. For scaled exponential linear unit, you would have guessed it that we are just scaling exponential linear unit. So formula for f of x for scaled exponential linear unit would be equal to lambda x when x is greater than 0 and alpha e to the power x minus 1 when x is less than equal to 0. So this part is same as our ELU function. We only have added this lambda, which is we are scaling this ELU function. Now the derivative of this would be equal to lambda. It will be equal to 1 when x is greater than 0 and alpha e to the power x when x is less than or equal to 0. Now you would think, what are these lambda and alpha? So lambda and alpha, they are both constants. Lambda's value is equal to 1.05 and alpha's value is equal to 1.67. This is found out using experimentation. So they have fixed values, lambda and alpha, and these are the values. If we had to plot these on a graph, then it would look something like this. So this is our y-axis and x-axis. Our SELU function would look something like this. And its derivative would look something like this. We'll come over here and then like that. So this value is 2 and this value is 1. So this blue graph is f dash of x and this orange graph is f of x. So this is derivative of SELU and this is SELU function itself. Now one of the most important things and the biggest advantage of SELU function is that it is self-normalizing activation function. So it has self-normalizing activations, which means that the output at each layer, which means whatever is the output for the whole layer for the SELU function, it will have mean of 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1, and this would lead to a stable training. And this way we can avoid normalization because it is already normally distributed. So output from the entire layer would be self-normalized, and in this way we will not have to apply any normalization. So this will lead to faster training. I hope I was able to explain you all these types of ReLU activation functions. Please let me know, how did you like the presentation? Where can I improve? I would love to hear this from you. So your suggestions in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next one.